This is sort 32. Please look at the words and see if you can figure out how to sort them by sound. Also look at the words and see what you notice about them. Feel free to pause and take a look at this. See if you can say these words and figure out how they're different from each other. If I look at these words, what I notice is that a lot of them have the same spelling pattern. Lots of double O's. There's a few that don't. That may be a separate category. We're going to say each of these words, and you can say them out loud, and you're going to need to say them out loud many times to figure out how to sort them, because this is a very challenging sort. I start with wool, here there's the sound, stood, root. So I'm hearing a slight different sound with the double O pattern. Let's listen again. Wool, stood, those sound similar. Wool, stood, root, fool. These sound a little bit different from these words. It's quite subtle. You're going to have to really practice and say them aloud to figure them out. Sometimes once you have a couple that you can think sound alike, it's easier to sort them. Let's move these over here. All right. Repeating them all from the beginning often helps too. Wool, stood, good. Yes, I can tell those go together. Troop. Wool, stood, good, troop. That sounds like over here. Tool. Fool. Yes. New, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's like that ooh, like ew. Wool, stood, good, noon. Nope. It's got to go over here. Soot. Think where should go. This word should. Now I guess I picked a kind of a tricky one but we're just sorting right now by sound. So just think of the sound. Say these two side by side. Then say these two side by side. I bet you thought here. We'll read them at the end and that will help. But should and would, that's an easy one because, well, the spelling patterns do help us out with that. Root. Try it by wool. Try it by fool. Root. Maybe here. We'll check at the end. Brook. I'm going to put that with wool. Crook. Wool, brook, crook. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Proof. Root. Yeah. Soon. You're going to have to speak to yourself a lot to do this sort. Could. Like that. Those are all together. Would. Oh. I bet you're seeing something here. Do you remember what that's called? When two words sound the same, are spelled differently, and have different meanings. Those are called, I bet you said it, homophones. This word here, roo, ooh, ooh. Root, roost, yeah. Groom, yeah. Hook. Cool, ooh. All right, let's take a look and see if I've made any mistakes. You may think you've caught one of mine, or maybe even more. Let's check them out. Wool, stood. Sounds similar. Wool, stood, good. Yes. Soot, should, would. Brook, crook, hook, hood, could, would, hoop. What do you think about this one? I think I made a mistake on that one. Wood, hoop. Yep, it's got to go over here. Okay, let's try this one. Fool, root, troop, tool. Notice sometimes when I read them, I can sometimes read them fast, and other times I really enunciate the middle vowel so I can hear it better. Tool, noon, root, proof. Those sound good. Soon, stool, roost, groom, cool, hoop. All right, so those are definitely sorted by sound. Now, spelling pattern, clearly, these are all O words, except for a few right here, which also represents one of our homophones. At this point, you're going to need to get your sheet. The reason why I have you get this sheet is so that when you're actually sorting the words, you can see the picture to remind yourself of what the homophone means. If you don't have a drawing or something next to it, it makes it really hard to do that. So take out your word notebook as well as getting this sheet. All right, let's find the homophone here. I'm going down. Tell me when I should stop. Not that I'll hear you, but tell me. Oh, oh! I bet you caught me here. I went past it. Here it is. Here's the word would. Would you like some chocolate with that? Where would you like to go? Maybe you just write a sentence. If there's some kind of picture, you can do that, but I'm just going to write where, W-H-E-R-E, important word to know how to spell, has the word here in it. Where would. Goodness me. There we go. Where would you like to go? And here's the other wood, and I'm going to just draw a tree and just point to the wood part, which is the bark on the outside, on the tree trunk itself. I believe that is our only... Oh, nope. Do you see another one? I'm going down. Here it is. Here's one of them. Root. Do we see the other kind of root? I don't. Oh, there they are. Root and root. This is the kind of root that plants have. You know, we're growing plants in our garden. So you have the flowers. We also have some carrots. And we have a little green part hanging down. And the part that's under the ground that's hanging down is the roots. You could also, animals sometimes root in the, like pigs are known to root into the ground, kind of dig with their nose as well. Here is the other kind of root. Now this has to do with directions, like, well, which route are you going to take to get to some location? I'd recommend taking this route because it has many more hills and lots of curves, and it's much more fun, like a roller coaster. So take this route. Now some people, me included, don't usually pronounce this route. I pronounce this route. This is still considered a homophone because both pronunciations are correct. Root and root. All right. After you've drawn them on here and you've written them into your notebook, let's see if we can figure out the spelling pattern itself. You guys noticed the oo and all of the O's. And here, and this one goes here. That's correct. This one has an O with the smile on the top, and this one has the two O's with a line on the top. And let's listen how that sounds. Wool, that's the sound that this represents. Wool, stood, good, soot. But we realize here, do they have O's? Nope. Here's our oddball category. Let's move them over here. If you know how to spell wood, you know how to spell could, and you know how to spell should. Because their spelling patterns, even though they're oddballs, their spelling patterns are identical. O-U-L-D. Just changing the beginning of it. Okay. This is your sort. Remember, when you spell, it's important really to think about the sounds that the words make, and that helps you with your spelling. You will need to read these many times because clearly they're all O-O words. But to get them right on the spelling test, they need to be in the correct column. All right. In a couple weeks, this is what you'll be doing. You could stop the video, but if you're due for your spelling test, And you are going to listen to the rest of this. You're doing your spelling test for Sort 32. Here are the words. First of all, you need the two categories, and here are the categories. O with a line, and O with the smile. Two columns, and you will need an oddball category as well, so you can have three, or you can put the oddballs down in a corner or something. Okay, first word. Remember to pause whenever you need to. First word is good. You did a good job. Good. Fool. Don't fool around. Fool. Noon. It is noon. Noon is related to the 12 o'clock time period. Noon. Root. Now we remember this is a homophone. You are going to need to draw a picture next to this one. This one is the root, as in the flower has a root under the ground. You can also write roots if you want, because clearly if you know how to spell root, you know how to spell roots. And usually we talk about roots because they have more than one. Root. Next word is hook. Please hook. Hang your jacket on the hook. Hook. Hoop. Throw the basket in the hoop. Hoop. Stool. You may take a seat at the stool. Stool. Wood. Where would you like to go for dinner tonight? Would. Cool. That is really cool. Or this is a cool evening. Cool. Wood. A tree has wood on its trunk. Wood. Don't forget to draw the picture. Groom. When a male gets married, he is considered the groom. Groom. Stood. We stood at attention. Stood. Troop. You might be in a dance troupe. You might be in some other type of a troop. You might be in a Boy Scout troop. Troop. Should. Should we get ice cream this evening? Should. Proof. I have proof of how I did the math. Here it is. Proof. Soot. Soot is the dirty part that comes off of wood when it's been on fire. It's the black part that's left. That's called soot. Next word is soon. Soon we'll be finished with the test. Soon. Crook. A crook is somebody who steals and is a criminal. Crook. Could. Could we have a play date? Could. Hood. The part of the microwave that opens up at the top is called a hood. It's also a hood on top of the stove to let the steam come out. Hood. Tool. Please use the correct tool for the job. Tool. Route, or alternate pronunciation, route. Which route are you going to be taking to get to the party? Route. Brook. A brook is a type of stream. Brook. Wool. Wool is the furry part on the outside of sheep. Wool. And finally, roost. This is what chickens do when they stand on a bar in a coop. They are roosting, or they are, let's see, how would you say this again? Roost. They are standing on their bar, which is considered roosting. If you want to write roosting, obviously you would know how to spell roost. That is spelling test 32.